Welcome to Midnight Mule FPL. I'm Midnight Mule and this is the video for Game Week 14 where I show you my plans. But before we do that, let's see who did well in Game Week 13. And I give you a hint, it wasn't me. So looking at our FPL Midnight Mule Mini-league, top score was by Dave Edwards with Kipax Commando, who's got 111. And that was with Captain Salah 26, Saka 18, Palmer 14, Johnson 10, Gabriel 9, Chris Wood 9, Aina 8, Vissa 8, Sal 6, and nothing on the bench. And also with 111 was Scott Matafwali with Caber FC 111. And that was with Captain Salah 26, Saka 18, Palmer 14, Johnson 10, Gabriel 9, Chris Wood 9, Aina 8, Sal 6, Colwell 6. And 1 point on the bench with the keeper, and that's neither here nor there really. Top of our league is Robert Burt with Robsdale 11. He managed 82 points. That was with Captain Salah 26, Saka 18, Chris Wood 9, Fernandez 9, Sanchez 7, Jackson 6. And nothing on the bench. As for me, I'm all the way down in 430th. I managed 59 points. And I think the global average was 60. And that includes zombie teams and people that gave up in Game Week 2. So to get below the global average isn't good, but it gets worse. So Captain Salah 26, Palmer 14, Chris Wood 9, and that's all. Nothing on the bench. So 59 points, but I did take a 4-point hit. So actually it's more like 55 points. So the game week rank before the minus was just inside the 6 million. Now, interesting thing, fun fact here. I did seriously consider for an extra 8 points bringing in Gabriel and Saka. The reason I didn't was I wanted to have the option to go back to Haaland for Game Week 14. And if I went to Saka, it would be very expensive in hits to then go back. So I thought I'd give them one more week. So I kind of feel a little bit unfortunate that Saka, I think, got his highest ever single game week score when I just delayed it by one game week. And West Ham did keep a clean sheet the last 2 game weeks. But there you go. It's only a game. It's all a bit of fun. So another red arrow, which is fine. So I'm back to where I was roughly in game week 10. But we've still got a long way to go, so that's all right. So I'm currently 279 points behind top spot. So if I can outscore him by about 11 points a week between now and the end of the season, I can catch him up. And because we're only a third of the way through, it means since the beginning, on average, they've scored 22 points a game week more than me, which is huge. It's a lot. But we got a long way to go. I might be all right. Who knows? Thank you very much to everyone who watches these videos, likes, subscribes and comments, but most of all, just watches them. So the FPL Gameweek website, you can see the Content Creators League. And good old Harry is now at the top. Same score as FPL Tips, but he's made one fewer transfer, which is why he's higher. I'm all the way down in 70th, about 1 million points behind, which is a massive 20 behind FPL Salah and 24 behind Elena. So not doing great, but it's fine. It's fine. We got a long way to go. That's what I keep telling myself. So I've got 1 free transfer and I'm considering 3. So the first one is either Smith Rowe or Mbeumo off to Saka. Now Mbeumo's much higher owned, so if I move him on and then people play him and he does well, that's going to really hurt my rank. But Smith Rowe's a couple of million cheaper. So if I sell Mbeumo, I've got a bit more money in the bank to do other moves in the future. So at the moment, I'm slightly leaning towards Mbeumo to sell, but I haven't decided for sure. And then a second transfer is either Lewis or Bednarak to Gabriel. Now, Gabriel's flagged, but it seems like generally people are expecting him to play. So, and I'd get him not for his clean sheets, but because of the attacking potential from the corners. Now, the advantage of selling Bednarak is, again, he's a bit more expensive, so I'd release a bit more cash. But if Man City start keeping clean sheets, then Lewis is so cheap, he's going to suddenly be really popular. And I might have to take another hit to bring him back in. So I'm probably going to sell Bednarak, but I don't know for sure. And that's if I do this move. And then thirdly, it'd be Chris Wood, because he's the only striker I can sell, to get in Jackson. The way I look at transfers and hits is I look at a 4-week window. So those transfers I just showed you, do I think in the next 4 game weeks they're going to outscore the players I've sold by 8 points? And I think there's a reasonable chance that they will. So the way my team would be lining up, and this is a screenshot from Fantasy Football Hub. I'm not affiliated with them. If you join up, I don't get anything for it, but that's fine. There's lots of good sites out there. So Palmer as captain, certainly, very likely at the moment. I'm thinking he's my captain with his mate Jackson away to Southampton. And I'd have Salah as vice-captain away to Newcastle. Saka at home to Man United with his mate Gabriel in defence. Then Gvardiol at home to Forest. Rodgers at home to Brentford, but that may be Smith Rowe if I keep Smith Rowe. Then Fabianski away to Leicester. He got -1 last game week, so if he manages to get as much as 0 points, that's an improvement. And then Aït-Nouri away to Everton with his mate Cunha up front, and then João Pedro away to Fulham. And then on my bench, I have Ramsdale with his broken finger. I have Smith Rowe at home to Brighton, so I could play him instead of Rodgers. Looking at their attacking numbers and minutes, etc., they're very similar. The chances are they're both going to get 2 points. Anyway, I got Robinson at home to Brighton. Brighton will probably score. And who would I play him instead of anyway? And then I've got Lewis as last on my bench. As for the background picture, the highest score this week was 111. And that reminded me when I used to do 10-pin bowling at university. 111 on 7. If you got 111 points after just 7 frames, then you had to buy everyone else a drink. And it did happen sometimes. So you didn't want to be getting 111 after 7 frames. And the reason for the pretty girl is I met my wife bowling at university. We happened to be put on the same lane and ended up getting married. And that was last millennium. So obviously we didn't have cameras back then, so I had to generate an image, but that's pretty much how she looked, I think. And there we have it. What happened in Game Week 13 and my plans for Game Week 14. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you have a good game week. Thanks. Bye.